Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Samson Andrew. Today I'm going to finally end the great debate. The cab chassis D-rated platform of a Ram 5500 is really going to hurt you not having the full horsepower of its potential when you're towing heavy. We're going to be battling against a 2020 3500 high output with 410 gear ratio. Now these trucks are not exactly the same, and they are that way by design. We're not testing straight up back and forth. Gear ratio are different, horsepower is different. The unladen weight of 5500 weighs 2,000 plus pounds more than the 3500. So when it comes down to the equipment we're hauling behind the trucks, we're not going out and renting equipment. We're using the stuff that we actually own. So everything isn't going to be perfectly identical. This is real world testing, and our gross weights will be very similar, but payload on the trailers and stuff may vary, but at the end result they're going to be very similar. But we're going to see which one and or my decision is good or bad by going with the 5500 and less horsepower. The gear ratio will help me, but we're going to really find out how much, and we're going to be testing it up and down hills to see which one does the job. Comment below what you guys' guesses are right now, and we're going to get to this video. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, this is going to be a throwback for you if you've watched the channel on a regular basis, but this is a Prime Tech, an older model. This thing weighs from factory around 22,000 pounds. We've added a decent amount of extra steel to this, reinforced a couple items here and there. It is considerably lighter than the 310 that Tavet's going to be hauling, but this was a video I used from hauling the machine to a job site, and I used my old trailer, which weighs quite a bit more than the Diamond C. Even though it's a shorter, smaller-ish trailer, it still outweighs it by a good amount. So that's where we make up some of our payload loss, and also the 5500 itself. I'll say it again because people like to jump to conclusions and say it's not a fair test. It's going to be a lighter load. The 5500, without anything in it, without a human in it, it weighs 2,000 pounds more than the 3500. Not to mention it's got gear and everything headed to the job site. So this will be a quick reflash. Main hill right out the house right off the bat is actually kind of a good little hill. Show you guys what this thing will do. Kind of stretch first gear a little bit. Lock second gear, we're at 1400 RPM. This truck kind of hits a wall compared to a high output truck. I'm not going to sit here and argue the horsepower facts. It's got, I don't know, what is it, 50 horsepower less than a high output truck. But then again, it's got lower gear ratio, so, you know, doesn't really help it, but it kind of helps it. Lower gears on anything will make stuff move, but this thing off the line takes off no problem. High output truck, come up this hill around 33, 35, thereabouts, with 30,000 inch pounds, slightly less. I'm at 29 right now. I just got to stretch the RPMs because if I go to third, then it, well, we'll see what it does. Get right here, you try to time your shift so you're in a little bit better of a spot. But I'm at 30 miles an hour right now. for the folks that were wondering if, well, is the truck really hurting on the power? This is the heaviest trailer that I own, aside from maybe the dump trailer. I think this thing actually weighs more. I think it's around 9,000 pounds. It's not light. And this is the heaviest machine that I regularly tow, which is around 22,000 pounds, maybe slightly more. Because if you guys haven't seen the other new machine, then you will know that this one actually outweighs it. But if I would have stayed in, there you go. If I would have stayed in second, it would have pulled it at 30 just fine. But that last little crest of the hill, it's got a little hump, and we dropped down a little bit. But nevertheless, it goes right about 30 up there, depending on your gear selection. And the high output truck, same thing with the Ford, same towing a little bit less weight. Ran the hill about 33, 35, somewhere in there. Quite a bit less effort. It seemed like it was able to do it at a lower RPM. But this one seems to favor the revving, which is, you know, part of the deal. You just got her in tow unit. Dude, the high output truck, you can just feel like the juice in it.
Dude, it just like never really runs out of anything. It just keeps on pushing. Boom. Fire.
Up to, what gear is it in right now? Second?
Third gear.
Second.
Is it not second gear? Sorry.
Let's just see if it'll go to third. Dude. It's already beaten my new truck.
Still in second. 31-ish. 201.
Oh, let's see if it holds third. Dude, if it holds third, then it's got mine beat. That's what mine... Oh, no. Oh, man. That's funny. Like, it's literally doing exactly what mine is doing when I was towing that foreign object the other day.
Foreign object?
Yeah.
It's a nice one. That's holding third right here.
That's this little... Like, that's how about mine went. But you got 410s, so mine's got that cushion. Get to 35. If it holds 35 over this hill right here... Because when I got right to this dang hump right here, it's all... And had to drop it. Oh,
slowing down.
Come on. Oh, no way.
I like let off. Yeah, I made it.
Yeah, I know.
You cheating rat bastard.
Dude, that makes me feel pretty good about my truck because I know what this one does on it daily.
Should have thrown this on your truck.
I know, right? Well, it's back there. I mean, it's there.
No, it's definitely there. So,
I got videos pulling with that new one, but
we don't need that.
Dude, that's pretty good. So, all its might with 35,000 pounds.
Yeah. Yep.
And it pulled it. It crested the hill at 30. Second gear.
Yes, correct.
That's it. That's pretty dang good.
Yeah. I mean, but it doesn't feel like... I know, like, the biggest worry, like, especially when I was towing my second gen all the time, like, you try to get up a hill and it feels like the motor's giving it all it's got, but something's slipping down below where you're not putting all the power to the ground.
Exactly.
These trucks don't feel like that.
Yeah.
They just grunt and they go. I mean, heck, sometimes I merge on the highway and I think it's going to downshift into second gear and it'll hold third gear and pull it all the way through from like 1900 RPM. I'm like, okay.
That's where the cab chassis doesn't have is that low end grunt. It
Really?
just, yeah, it doesn't like it. Like you could tell it's looking for it, but it's just like, oh, I'll look for it later. Let's drop a gear.
Gotcha.
What the hell? Get out of the way, Jep. Didn't even realize the double feature, the thing that we talk about more than any kind of horsepower.
Braking.
Yep, you know the deal. I'm gonna wager on to keep this thing under control. Second gear down the hill. You know that old saying truckers say, whatever you can go up the hill in.
You staying out here going down.
Exactly. Well, let's see how the 5500 does going down this hill. I have a smaller excavator, but I got a couple 3 attachments on there, so it's not a light load. Here's stab number, technically that's 1.5. The first one I was kind of hovering the brake to get her downshift. Yeah, it's kind of funny how this thing behaves. If I put second gear and my 08 with a stick shift, like we would be doing like 5. The gear ratio in the trans is just completely different. So we're at 1.5 stabs. The first one was just a little bit of a hover, and she's just holding it right here. I would say on conservative end, I'm probably 3,500 pounds lighter on the deck back there than Tabit was. But I don't remember if I had footage coming down this hill. Here's stab number 2, official. That's just to be nice to my engine so it's not revving itself to the moon. These new breed Cummins, they really don't care to, you know, they just rev out. And then obviously my driveway's right here, so I'm gonna let her down. Gotta slow down with the pedal to do this part, but shoot, right there at the same.
Yep. I've taught myself that a few times.
I gotta point out, because you never mentioned it.
No, I've never said that.
No, but your credentials in previous towing before, that little Dodge with the hotshot unit, towing low boy status stuff, you know. What'd you say? What color permit?
Purple.
Purple. That's Barney, which normally would be considered, oh, happy, friendly friend. Purple is what, to remind people on the weight scale?
It's, well, you're legally permitted up to 120,000 pounds in California with the purple permit.
Yeah.
Before you need any pilot cars or any additional permits just to hit the highway or go into a different county.
Which is 3 times what we weigh right now.
It's freaking heavy.
Yeah.
It's very heavy. There's a lot of times with something like that, you're in low range using your engine braking on your tractor, so you can hopefully hold back the weight, because that stuff pushes you straight down any percentage grade.
Some serious weight. What you got? Second gear?
Yep.
Give her a tap of the brake right before you drop in. I like to. There she's kicking. I just wanted to see what it would. What are you on? Yeah, you're on the full dog.
Oh yeah.
2,800 at 33 mile an hour. 1 stab at the brakes.
Just a small tap.
You want me to put this in Ford mode and turn the exhaust brake off? You guys will like try to nitpick us talking about how Fords are realistically. It's like
you can't battle it. It's useless. Ford's system is useless. That's second stab right there.
Which is pretty damn good, and that's the steep part of the hill.
I don't know how many of you watch my videos. I live up 3 8% grades going to my house. One of them is about 2 miles long. The steepest 8%er is about a half mile long. And guess what? I don't burn up my brakes. I'm almost at 40,000 miles on my truck, and I'm now about to change the brakes on my truck. And I actually have to change the brakes on the truck.
Yeah, we got an issue with the trailer.
Yeah, but
not related to is a short in the wiring.
It's just a short. Yeah. So, all right, that's the third step. So I can slow down
Yeah,
to your house.
I would say that's pretty good. A Ford, you'd be holding the brakes the whole way. I'm not just saying that because we run Dodge Cummins. It's like legitimate facts. I drove and tow tested a very similar weight-ish, well, 5,000 pounds less, doing that same run with the Ford. And you got a company truck, one of you guys is a Ford.
I hate that truck. That's why it doesn't tow anything, and that's why it's just the freaking filled the bed up with supplies.
Good looking truck, kind of.
It looks a lot better. I bought new wheels for it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Actually, yeah.
I saw it this morning.
Okay, yeah. It looks pretty good.
I was like, hey.
Like, it doesn't look too dirty now. Too dirty.
Don't take out my gate thing.
Oh, yeah, okay.
No, that's pretty impressive that holding that much weight down that hill. Nobody's going to know. Yeah. Nobody's going to understand what the steepness of that hill actually is.
Well, I'll tell you what, you guys, if you ever drive a Dodge or Ram, whatever you guys complain about, and you actually have to go in second gear for a grade, and you're towing, let's say 27,000 pounds, guess what? You're going down to 9+% grade, because that's the only time I've ever needed to be in second gear. So, and that's not too common. If you live in Florida.
Whose truck is that? That's pretty badass.
I gotta load that one up too.
Shit.
You're going home.
I'll say that's pretty bold if you just let me drive your truck when it's brand new, because I don't want anybody driving mine. Shit, that might be in it. Dude, I think that was worth it. That was fun.
Yeah,
just to see what the thing would do.
Let her
Let her cool down for a minute and.
Well, it's already at 197. What are you talking about? Let it
Down the grade. Wait, did turbo.
Oh man, turbo. Everybody, and just so you guys know, these trucks ain't got no EGT on them. The truck will derate itself if it thinks it's getting too hot on the exhaust side.
Cornell and I were talking about that the other day, because like
they don't show it.
My 5500, when I was running pretty good weight up one of our bigger hills, I got a super good run at the hill, and I dropped all the way to 40, and that's where it stayed. The next day, I towed that same hill with the same weight, but I got stopped at the bottom for chain control. That's for snow, if you don't know. And there was no snow on there, but they're just cautionary. But they're literally stopping cars at the base of the hill. And I'm thinking, oh, I only got that 50-mile-an-hour run up for this hill.
Yep.
How I'm going to pull it at 40? And that sucker climbed right up to 40 and just stayed there. Yeah. So that's where it's hitting its D rate and saying, we got you at 40, which is a pretty good pull for that hill for being 40 plus thousand.
Big rig, if anything. They're doing like what, 25, 30 up there?
Yeah, probably so. And
good passing.
Either way, you know, it just put it in third and just held that all the way up. And I'm gonna speculate, the engine's saying, hey, this is where our peak power is. Try and push it anymore. We're getting too hot. We'll shut her down. But this thing just pulls the high output. Somebody was saying, I don't know if this is true or not, but they were saying that the high output trucks, the tune comes from Ram, and then the cab chassis trucks, that's a tune that comes from Cummins. That's what they want that engine to do. So they,
you know what?
I don't know if that's true.
All these people that have been saying, oh, the new 2021 is going to get the true 5th gen interior. All the people that have been saying, oh, everybody that's been trying to include what Ram's going to do in the future of these trucks have been wrong. No, I don't think there's probably one or two, just so you guys don't comp whatever the heck. No one has ever been right about what Ram's going to do. For the past 5 years, all you guys are saying, oh man, they're putting Allison in it. They're putting Allison in it. And then they're saying, oh, 2022, they're going to put an Allison in it. Guess what? Those trucks are out. He has one. The guy right behind this camera. Guess what? What does it have? An Iacin.
I guess so.
What kind of interior does it have? The same interior as this one. Everybody's been completely wrong. Ram's doing whatever the heck they're doing. Cummins is doing whatever they're doing. If anything, they got some good tight lips because they ain't saying nothing. Which I kind of like.
I mean, they're doing a damn good job.
They are doing a dang good job.
Everybody wants to improve with evolution, and they're still doing that. Every year they come out with more and more horsepower. And my 4th gen gets worse fuel mileage than my 5th gen. So figure that one out. They're still making improvements, but people think, oh, why are they not stepping up to an 8-speed, to a 10-speed? This thing, with 4 10s, is freaking killing it going up that hill with a 6-speed. Sure, it would be nice to have a middle gear, but at the end of the day, what, you just trying to get a couple more mile an hour out of it?
I don't care. I don't need to get to my drops that fast.
Yeah.
I don't need to get home that fast.
Not a race truck. I got some stuff back there in a container, some horsepower.
That's where I got the Ranch Runner. That's where I got my little turd living WRX.
The other fun rigs, but
these things aren't made to go fast. They're made to tow. That's why I tell people, if you want to go fast, get a 68 transmission on this truck. If you want to go faster, go buy yourself a Ford. Because don't get me wrong, those are fast, but for me, they're not a tow rig.
But as this platform sits, the Iacin in whatever cab chassis or high output system, like, it's a good format that's been working good.
Yeah.
So maybe they're not trying to get in a hurry and put out something like they had in the past that might have not been quite ready and bite themselves in the ass, because if they got something that just works so good, why mess with it?
Right. Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But on the flip side, a lot of people say, oh, they need to do a 2-speed rear end, they need to do this, How much do you truly want to spend for a truck? Because what you guys are stating, you're about to have a $160,000 price tag on a truck. So you got to think about that. What you want comes with a price tag.
2-speed rear end, that's for like a truck that had like a 4-speed main box.
Right.
And just,
nobody. My buddy had an old Peterbilt like that.
They're cool. Like, if you can do that, if you're shifting that kind of stuff, awesome. Stick shift people.
You know what? It would be cool if they still made a manual.
But at the end of the day, this truck just gets you done.
Oh, dude, I'm over here drinking, eating, being a fat butt. The other word.
Well, anyway, that was worth the tow up there.
It's fun.
I enjoyed it.
Hey, whoa, wait.
You're fired. Yeah. If you guys are curious about with my truck, yeah, it is.
Sorry, go ahead.
With the 22 5500 I just picked up, I got a couple tow videos on it, and I got some other stuff that I don't want to disclose to you guys at this current time of actually towing some serious weight.
I know what it is. They don't.
Anyway, those videos will be in the future, but I gotta show you the foreign object first. Well, you guys saw it here first. The great debate on the cab chassis, D-rated power, all that mess. It's really neat to see that the 5500, I mean, it was too close to call realistically, but I'll go ahead and just give it to the 3500 because I'm a fan of both. And when it came to buying this truck, I really weighed the options of going with the 3500 just to get that horsepower and get the tow rating, which it doesn't make any sense either. You get a smaller frame, smaller brakes, taller gear ratio, and you can tow more. Just stuff doesn't make sense when it comes to engineers with these pickup trucks. But to see how close this truck came, I'm very happy with my decision. Quite a bit less horsepower, torque and everything. At the end of the day, the fuel mileage is still getting right there at the same, maybe better, I don't know. And it climbed the hills just the same. I believe all these trucks, when they're towing a mild weight, they just rock and roll up the hill. This truck does it no problem. But same thing with obviously Ford and high output Dodge and stuff. But I believe they all hit a plateau where they just stop because engine will start to derate a little bit because, you know, we're not going to give you full power. If the engine's getting too warm, it starts to cap its power and derate you so you don't burn it down. And I think both trucks hit that going up this very hill, because you just hit that and that's all you got. You could try to grab another gear, but ultimately you're going to go back to the gear you started off in. And I'll just as soon just keep a mild RPM and just pull the hill in that lower gear and just get it done. It's easier on the equipment, less shifting, and I'm happier that way. But thank you so much for Tavit coming through. I owe him probably $1,000 for those 4 gallons of diesel for pulling that hill and a Mountain Dew. But anyway, you guys saw it. Thank you for watching. Let me know if your guesses were accurate down in the bottom which truck would win, because I don't think anybody guessed that the 5500 was going to come that close, or considerably damn close tie. A lot of people actually thought the 5500 would win. I appreciate that. We'll see you guys in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Check us out on Instagram. See ya.